Friends and watchers of Illusion, welcome to another Delboy film retrospective and unboxing. And this one is very close to my heart. We're moving forward a little bit to 1990 and another hobby of mine, which is comic books. And from a director that's more horror orientated than special effects orientated comic book medium. So what are we talking about today? We're going to be talking about this particular film. Here's my steelbook. It is Darkman, which is directed by Sam Raimi. Yes, so I've been a big Spider-Man fan for many, many years. And 1990 seemed to be explosive in regards to bringing comic book heroes and villains to life. And Darkman is no different. In fact, Sam Raimi is a very big comic book fan, and he wanted to secure the rights to another film, The Shadow, but couldn't get the rights, so decided to make his own hero up, called him Darkman. So that's how Darkman came about, really. It's quite a convoluted story, really, when you think about it, on how it all came together. Sam Raimi is big fans with the Coen brothers, and Frances McDormand, who's starring in this film. In fact, they lived in a house together, and they all sort of helped a little bit with the development of this film. Sam Raimi usually has a difficulty in getting money up together to make this film, and this one is considered to be more Hollywood-fied than his earlier films. The more money he got gave him more carte blanche to do more special effects and more stunt work, and that's going to be needed for comic books of this era, because Batman showed the way, really, on just about how a film like that needed to make money. So I remember going to the pictures to see this and wondering, I wonder what this is going to be like. Was all in awe over Batman, and I came away very happy. My friends less so. I think they were more Evil Dead fans than comic book fans. But I remember many discussions in regards to Darkman, what it was that I liked about it. I always thought that it had a comic book feel. It had some comedy elements to it. The special effects work seemed old but new, and I've had a greater appreciation of the film over the years, because I've learned to find out that what Sam Raimi was trying to do was to make something that was a bit in the past, a bit of a homage to The Invisible Man, Frankenstein, those types of Universal films that were coming out in the 30s and 40s. And in most ways, I think he's got that feel dead correct, especially when you consider the beginnings of the story. So what is Darkman about? Well, it starts off really with the star, Peyton Westlake, who's a doctor, and he's trying to come up with some sort of help for people with that are burn victims by trying to develop a synthetic skin. And he's on his way to a breakthrough in his research. He's going out with an attorney, played by Frances McDormand, and she basically is working on a gangster type case that's going on, and comes across a document that would blow the crime lords of the city wide open. Discovering where she lives, because she's living with the doctor, they raid his lab, which is sort of like a warehouse type lab, and thinking that he knows where this document is, decide to beat him up. They beat him up so bad that they burn his hands, dip his face in acid, and finally they blow up his lab. This all happens just as his girlfriend is running towards the building. And although the doctor lives because he's blown clear, he basically is so burnt that he's actually rushed to hospital, and nobody knows who he is. Nobody can recognize who he is. She believes that he's dead, and there is a burial, and her life moves on. While at the hospital, his sort of like afflictions, like his burns and scars, are so bad that they have to cut certain nerves that basically take away his feeling of pain altogether, which gives him sort of like superhuman type powers, because now he can't feel anything. He goes back to his lab after being treated and manages to try to work on the skin breakthrough that he was working on before, and gets it stable enough to work, but only to a point where it will be okay for about 90 minutes. After 90 minutes, the skin will dissolve and he will be back to normal. So our doctor sort of like becomes a chameleon of a sort and goes about trying to avenge not only him but also his girlfriend, hoping that one day he'll develop the skin process enough that he'll be able to make his own face and go out with her again. So you can see it's quite a complex plot. It's very fun, very action orientated, quite dark, psychological, and the only person who I could think that could actually do the music to the film any justice is the person they hired, which is Danny Elfman. It's very, very brass and string orientated. A sort of a semi-march, a bit like Batman, but a bit more melodic, I would say. I bought the original soundtrack to this film, but there is an expanded version. Again, one that I wish I had, but I don't. But I think I've said enough about the film. Let's do the unboxing part. So this has actually just come recently. It's a steelbook, and I thought it'd be nice to actually watch this tonight. And so I thought, well, why not do an opening on this? So took the cellophane away, and we've got a J card, which is luckily not glued, so it leaves no residue, and we can now see totally what this is like. So the J card is just here. I'll hold it up so in case you can freeze frame it later on. Very nice, quite flimsy. And then we have the steelbook, which is really quite nice. It's actually the poster with the words "Who is Darkman" on the front, so you can see the poster through the letters. Very, very matte painting with some gloss work. Just a snippet of the picture of Darkman on the back with his bandages, with the credits of the film at the bottom. It's a Shout Factory release, and if we open it up, we've got the 4K and the Blu-ray inside. The 4K has a nice picture disc, see there, and the Blu-ray has a different picture disc. Hopefully I can get it out. Uber, as they say, with some of the masks that are made in the film. And then we've got a classic action scene from the film, Darkman running along the rooftops in his garb with a helicopter flown by the kingpin of crime himself after the Darkman. So I'll just put these back. And we'll do what I always do when I've opened up a film. My steelbooks. I'll put it into its protective cover. So just put the J card back on. Won't take long, this. And you can see the outcome of it. Slip that into the cover. It's quite tight. Ooh, so many double entendres there. And push that through. And there we are in its lovely cover. Lovely. So Darkman is definitely a special for me. It's definitely shows how Sam Raimi honed his craft, especially if you look at Spider-Man, which again had some marvelous dark tones, some alley scenes and so forth. And the special effects were just, 9 years on from Darkman, honed to a point where Spider-Man really did work. And this had a follow-up of 2 other films. They went straight to video, though. I don't believe Sam Raimi had much of an influence on them. I do have those as well. I do enjoy them, but nothing beats the original that was directed by Sam. And with that, I'm going to say salute. I hope you've liked this little capsule review. I definitely give this one a thumbs up. This one's a big thumbs up from me. And with that, let's hope the next one is not too far away. And thank you for watching. Bye-bye.